Good afternoon, YouTube, and welcome back to Fat Cat Collections. As I've told you guys in a couple of the videos, I'm going to start reviewing some of the newest fragrances that I've picked up from samples from some of the wonderful houses out there that are nice enough to send me samples. And you know, I have a lot of other ones I really need to review too. It's more fun to review a watch for me. You know, when you get a new watch, you really want to put it out there. Whereas fragrances, you know, when I review a sample, I know it's not as cool as actually seeing the whole bottle and whatnot. But I'm going to bust these out and give you my opinion of them, give you the notes, and just kind of give you an honest opinion, I guess, of what I like versus on whether or not, a lot of times I'll get a fragrance and it doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to buy it. A lot of these ones that I get here, that I get from these houses like Zoologist, and the one I'm going to be reviewing today is by the house of Scentstory. It's part of their 24 Gold Elixir line. A lot of juices are about $100 a bottle, and so for me, I like to kind of, I don't know, I'm more of a more is the merrier kind of guy. I'd rather have a lot of variety. And so some of these, I kind of, when I get the sample, I kind of savor them. I wear them once in a while. And then I do a review on them. And I'm not really one to spend a lot on a bottle of cologne, because I know as time goes on, they become cheaper and cheaper. However, when you start looking at niche houses like this, it's harder to find ones that are even clones. Like if you go looking for a Creed, Creed cologne, you're going to be able to find many, many different, brands that are duplicating what they're doing. And in some regards, sometimes they even duplicate them better. And you got to look at, when you're paying $300 for a bottle of cologne, your expectations are really through the roof. And if you want that real deal scent, then I always urge you to go ahead and buy the real deal scent. But for me, there's plenty of Creed Aventus clones out there that are $20 and they smell fantastic. And to me, it doesn't have to be perfect for me to be happy. But with houses like Zoologist and Scentstory, definitely not Zoologist. You won't find clones of Zoologist out there because they're so daring and unique. Nobody's duplicating that stuff, okay? Scentstory, there are a few houses that have created juices that smell very similar to theirs, or I'm not really sure who created which juice first, but nonetheless, you see my review on where I compare 24 Gold to Ragba. Very, very similar. Different in their own way, but similar. And for me, for the price of 24 Gold, it's just not really I can't really rationalize it. That's just me personally, but most people have no problem spending $80, $90 for a bottle of cologne. I'm just more of a variety kind of guy. And I kind of feel like if I can get the same vibe, one to me doesn't smell better than the other, it just smells slightly different. But with that being said, there aren't a lot of clones or copies of these fragrances. So, and this is one of their newest ones here. And now I'm going to review, this is called 24 Gold Elixir Azur. And I'm going to give you guys my best judgment of what I smell. I'm going to read a little bit off Fragrantica. And unfortunately, I wasn't able to find on the 24 Gold website the notes in this stuff. So I'm just going to go directly off Fragrantica and assume that these are correct, okay? So I'm just going to go ahead and show you. Naturally, this is your presentation of your sample. They're all pretty similar when it comes to, they all do it in this kind of card, of course. 24 Gold. Pretty basic, nothing really too fancy as far as the presentation. So, what do I get with 24 Gold Elixir? When I think of these, colognes that come out that are blue, where you have like, what is it, Bleu de Chanel, and you have, this is not a blue bottle, I forget which one was that one by. But I've sampled several different blue colognes before, and they all have kind of a very similar vibe. And this one's no exception. For some reason, the blue colognes definitely have almost like, it's hard for me to even, it's almost like I just can't describe it. You'll have to comment to let me know what you guys think. But I went ahead and, I haven't worn any of these yet, but I went ahead and sprayed it on some paper to kind of give you an idea what my nose smells, okay? And so here it is right here. Got to refresh here. So my first vibe on this thing is it's very, very sweet and fruity, okay? The notes in this, top notes, I'm just going to read right off Fragrantica here, are your bergamot, you have strawberry, and you have juniper. Middle notes are going to be neroli, cedar, and artemisia. Hopefully I'm saying that right. If I'm not, like I always say, yeah, I know you guys will tell me. Base notes are vanilla, woody notes, musk, and tonka bean. And, a couple people have I read the other people's comments, because it's good to hear what other people have to say, because sometimes you may not think you smell something, and somebody will describe it in a certain way where you're like, oh yeah, that does kind of make sense. So I just want to go down and just kind of tell you guys, one guy, he said, he didn't want to resort to using this, but he pictured bubblegum when he smelled this. And I didn't really think of that until I actually smelled it myself. And it is a very, very sweet, it does kind of have that bubblegum vibe. And that's probably because of the strawberry in that. Definitely, you know, none of these fragrances are really, you know, I can't really tell you, I guess, when I review these fragrances on whether or not you're going to like them or whether or not, you know, I would buy, you know, sometimes I'll tell you, will I buy it or not. Generally, I don't tend to purchase ones that I've reviewed through samples just because they tend to, like I said, be more expensive. And I have to really, really like something to spend that kind of money on. Now, there is one by 24 Gold. I'll go back to this again. Let me just tell you, all right, sorry, I get rambling on here, as you guys know. So on the website, what they say about this particular fragrance, and I'm just going to read it to you. Bear with me. I'm not, you know, the best at, you know, reading this stuff right offline here. I'm more of a speak from the hip kind of guy. And this screen keeps changing too. So they refer to this here as a road trip across the Riviera. You know, and what I kind of don't like about, I wish they would, I guess, be a little more open as far as the notes and just keep it at the notes. They have like this kind of presentation about what you should imagine. I get it; it's a good sales tactic to kind of, you know, give you. They have a picture of like a windy road in the ocean, and I urge you to check it out. It kind of reminds me of almost something that Scentstory does, where they have a story. Not Scentstory, excuse me, Imaginary Authors, they have a story behind each one of their fragrances, and then they have the, I believe, that imaginary note in there as well. So this one just says, a road trip across the Riviera. It was like blending in the backdrop from a 1960 French movie as I was driving on those little used roads, winding their way up and down through the unspoilt countryside. Hues of green, gray, and blue, shaded orchid, covered hills, exhaling their leafy, fruity fragrances, alternating from lane to lane. Fragrant purple lavender feels, sweet scent of artemisia, I know I'm screwing it up, mingling with blossoming orange trees. The apparent barrenness of the landscape was an actual delight for the senses. Not going to read the whole thing, I'm just going to touch base on what else it said. As I took a turn and caught sight of the glimmering lights of the town down there, I thought of you, your cheerful smile, the dinner we would have, the secret place next to the sea. I could almost smell its comfortable scent, an elegant blend of amber, musk, and vanilla. So that's all nice, but you know, I really want to know, you know, what's in the juice. You know what I mean? I want the breakdown. So I gave you the breakdown off Fragrantica. That's what they do. I guess they're trying to, I guess, give the story with each one of their fragrances, which I guess is, you know, it's not a bad marketing plan, I guess. But for me, that doesn't really make me want to buy the fragrance. I want to know, you know, what's in it. I don't want a story. But they are called, their company is called Scentstory. So that's probably what, you know, kind of what they do. But nonetheless, it's not a fragrance. To me, it's a little bit, it's very powerful, and it's very, very sweet. So if you like fragrances that are very, very sweet and fruity, you'll definitely like this fragrance. If you like, you know, fragrances that have that strawberry note, you'll definitely like this fragrance. I would go as far as saying if you like any of the blue fragrances, you'll like this fragrance. Now, I'm not saying when I say Bleu de Chanel that this is anything like Bleu de Chanel at all. They're night and day. But there is just something that my nose picks up in all these blue scents that is somewhat similar. And I can't really, you know, put down to exactly what it is, but every blue scent I've ever smelled just has that, it's like you just know it's a blue scent or blue themed. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. So this stuff can be had at, let's see what they're going for right now on price. You'll get $115 per bottle if you go right off the website. And I'm just trying to see if I missed any kind of extra information here. No, nothing yet. That's about it. So $115 a bottle. That's 3.4 ounces or 100 mils. Most of their fragrances are going to be about in the $100 price range. And I will say, and I always say in every single Scentstory review that I do, 24 Gold, the original one, was my absolute favorite. I mean, I had to get it. But then when I found Ragba, I was like, ugh, it's, you know. And I didn't know this till I actually smelled them side by side. They are very, very similar. You do get the same vibe. I do like the 24 Gold better. But one fragrance that I have not been able to find by Scentstory that I will have to purchase one day is their 24 Gold Platinum Oud Edition. That one is just got, I love rose and oud, and that one is just a killer fragrance, guys, killer. So that's definitely one I'll have to pick up. So let's see if there's anything else anybody else said here. Let me just kind of scroll through here, see what you know. This is pretty new. So one person said here, bubblegumish. It starts off and it dries down. It's more herbal and musky. Qualities become more prominent. Yeah, this guy kind of goes off into the story too, which I'm not really too concerned with here. Yeah, it is a very powerful fragrance, and it definitely has that bubblegum kind of vibe to it. This gentleman said that it will dry down, but one thing you can definitely tell is when I smell this, I know I'm smelling a 24 Gold Scentstory fragrance. It has that 24 Gold DNA with those slight changes to make it smell like a totally different fragrance. So definitely check it out. I think all the Scentstory stuff is just absolutely fantastic and definitely worth trying and wearing at one point. They have, of course, their sampler kit. You can get for about $35, which is pretty much similar to what they sent me. Fantastic. I'd urge you guys to check it out. I'll put some links in the description where you can get this stuff. As always, stay tuned for the next review. Take care.